Hello and welcome to Unews for Thursday, November 14th. I'm Lorraine, Caceres. We begin today with news of a school shooting in Southern California. Saugus High School in Santa Clarita placed under lockdown. That school approximately for that report from Santa Clarita, California. Meanwhile, 3 months after a mass shooting in El Paso, Texas that killed 22 people and injured dozens more, the scene of that crime, a Walmart, is finally reopening its doors. Pedro Rojas joins us with the details. Pedro? That report, and after that Walmart shooting and a mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio days later in August, President Trump said his administration would work on a plan to fight gun violence. So what's happened to that plan? Carolina Rosario joins us in the newsroom to explain.
Hi, Lorraine. Things are getting frustrating for those hoping to get any kind of gun control reform here in the U.S. You might remember President Trump saying during the summer after the shootings in El Paso, Texas and Dayton, Ohio, that he would offer policies to curb firearm deaths. Well, now the president appears to have abandoned the idea of releasing proposals to combat gun violence. Trump has been constant more aggressive background checks, will consider red flag laws that allow authorities to temporarily take weapons away from someone deemed a danger, and frequently mention the need to focus on mental health as it relates to gun violence. All that has changed. Lorraine, back to you.
Thank you, Carolina, for that report. And as we continue to learn new details about a shooting at a school in Santa Clarita, California, another instance of gun violence in schools, this time in Las Vegas, where a child found a gun in his school backpack while in class. Now 2 people are under arrest, including the child's mother. Here's Grecia Lastra. Capitol Hill Wednesday as public hearings got underway. Hours of public testimony from 2 top State Department officials, Bill Taylor and George Kent, making new revelations that Democrats say helped further their case that the president abused his power. Here's the very latest. He did receive the aid, but only after the whistleblower submitted the complaints and Congress initiated their investigation. On Friday, we will hear from Marie Yovanovitch, former ambassador to Ukraine, who left her post in March because she was abruptly removed. Meanwhile, the president announced he plans to release the transcript to a second call with Ukraine. President Trump, meanwhile, claims he did not watch the hearings and says he's not concerned about them. Claudio Seda has more on reactions from inside the White House.
Says yesterday were both career diplomats who served Democratic and Republican presidents. In Washington, I'm Claudio Seda. Now, back to you.
In other political news, a recanvass of votes will take place Thursday in Kentucky's governor's race. As the count now stands, Democrat Andy Beshear has a roughly 5,000 vote lead over incumbent Republican Governor Matt Bevin. Rafael Rodriguez has the latest. Making a major change to buy tobacco in Crete has been forced to take action after a group of lawyers discovered the department was violating the law by keeping a database with the fingerprints of thousands of juveniles that were never charged or convicted of a crime. Fabiola Galindo has the latest from New York City. A report by a Minnesota law firm has revealed details of child sexual abuse by Catholic leaders in Colorado. During a news conference Wednesday, the authors of the report said their main goal is to get state lawmakers to change the statute of limitations on these kinds of crimes. Roger Borges has more. International travelers may feel a little more secure after a federal judge ruled this week that U.S. border officers are not allowed to search travelers' electronic devices without cause. Here's Jaime Garcia. For asylum seekers entering the United States, starting in 2020, they will have to wait twice as long as before to get a work permit, something that could jeopardize many aspects of their lives. Juan Carlos Gonzalez has the details. Surveillance video showing the moment a man with a husband, a father of 3, and a firefighter. Now he's also being remembered as a hero. Lieutenant Jason Menard lost his life saving 2 of his fellow firefighters. As Aileen Cardet tells us, this painful loss is also too familiar for the city of Worcester, Massachusetts. Story out of Texas, in North Houston, a plumber's last words were "help me" before he was buried alive after a trench collapsed. It happened while he was working on a job behind a shopping center. There were several working on the chaos in Bolivia. Break the streaming wars. And now for a preview of what's coming up in the second hour of Unews. Unews, the Netflix series Taco Chronicles, only confirmed the popularity of El Visito, one-of-a-kind taqueria in Mexico City, a favorite for decades for real Mexican taco lovers. Paulina Gomez has their tasty story.
At Las named Taco al Pastor, the best dish in the world this year, and it's the house specialty.
It's impossible not to have your mouth water. That looks very delicious. But moving on, tonight is a special night as Univision celebrates 20 years of tuning in. But that's all the time we have for the first hour of Unews. Please stay with us for another hour of more news.